Hey, welcome back. This is ECZDC, and today we're taking a look at the EVERGOODS Transit Duffel 35, otherwise known as the TD35. This has been my go-to bag for short trips, overnight, weekends, especially when it comes to traveling by car. And I've had this for many months, and at this point, this is a long-term review, and I wanted to share with you my thoughts. There's a lot of duffels on the market, and based on what your needs are, perhaps this could be a viable option for you if you are in the search for a duffel. Now, let's start with some dimensions, just so you can kind of get an idea of how big this bag is. This is 2 pounds, 14 ounces empty. The strap itself weighs 4 ounces. So folks in the metric system, 1,300 grams for the bag, and the strap is 113 grams. And dimensions, we've got 20 inches by 11 inches by 12 inches. So you do get a nice sort of rectangular shaped bag, and it comes in at 35 liters. So exterior materials, you've got the 840D ballistic nylon 6. This is the solution dyed material EVERGOODS uses to be more environmentally conscious. The inside of the bag is made of a 420D high tenacity nylon 6.6. And the buckles and the hardware are Duraflex. And we've got YKK zippers throughout. The big one on the top is a number 10. And on the inside, on the sides, you're gonna find number 8s, all racket coil reverse zippers. So, let's dive in. So materials first, 840D. This is probably one of my favorite materials out on the market right now, especially the EVERGOODS 840D. If you've handled any of their CHZs or CPL bags, they break in so nice. They feel great. They're incredibly resistant to water for being a nylon fabric, and they're super easy to clean. Dirt, human, dog hair, all that stuff that might end up on the bag, for the most part, you can just brush it off. And if you do get a more, if you do have a pretty good stain, a little cloth and water should take it right off. So long-term review, this bag has been awesome. Let's take a look at the bottom, right? The bottom's gonna see the most wear out of any other part of this bag. And this thing's been in trains, cars, no airplanes. I would never travel on an airplane with this. You can see, I guess there's a couple small little scuffs, no tears, no real abrasions, just a couple small places you can see probably caught something a little sharp, but really great. Wish I knew exactly how long. I'll look it up and put on the screen how long I've had this, but it's been months, and it gets regular use on weekends. So for this being a rectangular bag, EVERGOODS put a bunch of padding in here. So there is a piece of foam that goes the entire length of the side, bottom, and other side here in the back to give this bag a shape, so it stands on its own, it opens. When we open it up, we'll see how it kind of acts like a doctor bag, but also for protection from, outside impacts. There is 2 zippers. Besides the main compartment, you've got one here in the front, and this front zipper is more like an admin panel. So we're gonna see a couple drop-in pockets, and these are sized to fit, a passport, personal size notebook, and there's a smaller drop-in pocket here for some pens, maybe a multi-tool, and then you've got a third larger drop-in pocket. Also, you get EVERGOODS, kind of signature key leash that they include on their bags, Duraflex spring-loaded clasp there. It is not removable, it is sewn in. But that is what you got here on the front of the bag. We can also see that there is the EVERGOODS loop field with their, their logo sewn in. You can put whatever kind of patch on the front if you'd like to do that kind of thing. And on the back of the bag, we see one more zip. And this is where EVERGOODS would recommend you put a laptop if you're gonna carry a laptop with this bag. EVERGOODS does say this fits a 16-inch Mac, and it's true, it fits. But there's some caveats that I found. If you don't put your laptop in here first, and you start packing it with clothes and shoes and coats and whatever else you're bringing, the bag begins to take on, I don't know if you can see this, it's a little rounded. And that rounded shape makes it really hard to get a laptop in there. So this is a 14-inch MacBook Pro, and the bag is currently stuffed, but you can see here, like, it zips, but that is tight, and you can kind of feel the bulge here where the bottom of the machine is. Now technically, if the bag was empty, you'd be able to slide this a little bit further down. So I do think, depending on the order in which you pack your bag, and also how big of a machine you have, you're gonna have, you know, mixed reviews and experiences on how this actually works for holding a laptop. If I'm traveling with a duffel, you know, 99 times out of 100, I have a backpack, so I'm not gonna put my tech in here, but it does work. And, you know, I'd say if you are traveling with this, maybe an iPad is the best solution. Fits in there no problem, even when the bag is super packed out. But I did want to mention that because if you're planning on traveling with a laptop in here, you know, it's definitely tight, even with the smaller machines. So anyways, we have the top of the bag, right? That's pretty much it at this point before we get inside. The top of the bag, and EVERGOODS provides you this strap. Like I said, this is the strap that comes with the bag. I don't love the strap. I think, you know, they could have done a little bit better job, maybe a little bit wider, maybe a little bit more padding. This is pretty simply just a bunch of nylon webbing sewn over itself to give it, you know, some thickness, and the only padding you get is the fabric itself. I do find that when walking, you know, longer distances, and this is why I don't use it for like airplane travel, when going from the car to the airport or, you know, door to door, it slides on the shoulder a little bit, and it also does start to dig in. And, you know, I wouldn't say this is gonna be the best strap option, but at the same time, you don't have a lot of options based on how it connects, which is Duraflex buckles. And these buckles are very robust. They are very satisfying to clip in on clip. But for the most part, this strap I do leave connected. It is nice to have for, you know, when you're hauling it out of the trunk of your car to your destination, just to have on there. But if you don't want this, you know, you can disconnect it and throw it inside the bag. Now, these wings on the side of the bag are extended when that strap is deployed. And when the strap is not deployed, these tuck down and they actually clip into the other end of the buckle down here. Now this not only gives the bag a much more aesthetically pleasing shape, but it also acts as a compression system so that when that bag's a little bit more packed out, you can kind of cinch it down, clip it in, and get it out of the way. There is no extra tightening mechanism, so you only get what this does. And if the bag is overpacked, you might have a tough time reaching that buckle. But otherwise, it's a great way to keep the bag in that nice rectangular shape and give you a nice exterior appearance. So at the top of the bag, 2 handles. And these handles are pretty much in line with all the handles you're gonna find on EVERGOODS bags, maybe a little bit more malleable. Same material. There's that same gear loop here on the ends if you want to attach carabiner, pair of gloves, maybe clip on a smaller bag to this. But these handles, they just ever so slightly come together. And this makes grabbing these a breeze. Small little touch that EVERGOODS adds. And again, this is that like EVERGOODS brilliance when it comes to bag design. I mean, I don't know, it's so great how they just come right together. They're always there when you need them, and it works really well. So great job on the handles. I think they did a fantastic job there. Now, when we open the bag, we're gonna see that this has, you know, that old school doctor bag opening, and it just pops open, stays open, which makes it super easy, to see the stuff inside your bag, and also to pack it and unpack it. You're not like fighting with the bag. It's not constantly closing on you. It's not drooping in on itself. It's very structured, but at the same time, it just kind of sits here nice and easy. So really, really creative style. There are a couple other duffels that have this doctor bag opening, but I do really like the way EVERGOODS has done it. So let's take a look at what we got inside here. So I've got a little jacket, 2 EVERGOODS packing cubes. These are the TP8s. I've got a cap too for some tech. A pair of shoes and a Western Rise little shoe bag. And there are 2 side pockets. So actually, before we even go into side pockets, this is your main bucket. The only bit of organization we're gonna have in here, let's see if we can show you this, is one little zipper pocket right here. It's not too big. You know, it's not gonna fit a Cap 1, but it's gonna be nice for some of your smaller items, pens, you know, some small tech, notebooks, maybe a small pouch. Of course, every bag EVERGOODS releases has that internal you know, patch with some information about the bag and the materials that it's made out of. So on the side of the bag, we have two more little drop-in pockets, and these have dimension if you need it. They are quite expansive. In one of these I had the Air Travel Kit 2, which is my DOP kit. It is, you know, it's pretty big and bulky. It's a larger DOP kit, but this thing, it fits in there no problem. So it is quite large, and it gives you the ability to use it with those bigger items, but also if you have smaller items, right, like this EVERGOODS Cap 1, maybe you were traveling more minimal, something like that, fits in there and it kind of tucks out of the way. They're also great for water bottles. Keeps your bottle upright and also keeps it out of the way. So not much to say about the inside of the bag. It is very simple, but very easy to use. And you do get some of that sort of EVERGOODS design love here with these, you know, volume independent pockets if you need it. Now on the inside here, we do see, might be hard to see, you can just see the inside of this buckle where it is attached. And you know, that's the bag. So as I mentioned, it sits open. This doctor bag opening is really handy to pack, makes everything really easy to use. But one of the reasons I wanted to film this is I wanted to show you how the bag looks with some EVERGOODS products. Their ecosystem works really well together, of course, as you would expect it to. But I also know that there are other packing cubes in the market, right? This is the Peak Design Medium Cube. This is one of the most popular packing cubes. And I feel like a lot of people have these, you know, maybe the Eagle Creek ones, those are really affordable. I don't have those, but we're gonna see how, you know, the combination of these packing cubes work, so you can figure out if this is something that might work for you in your travels. So first, we've got the EVERGOODS packing cubes. They are a perfect fit. You can see there's a little play here, side to side, and that is because after using this bag and packing it to the gills over and over and over, it has rounded out. I have expanded it outwards. It definitely has a bit of a rounder shape now. And that's because I use the Peak Design cubes. So these EVERGOODS cubes, they fit in perfect. The cap 2 also fits in absolutely perfectly. You can fit it in a number of different ways. These also fit side by side in here. So EVERGOODS was thinking about all of these different dimensions and layout options, you know, months, years in advance when they were building these things. They did a really great job. So you can get creative. You can also put quite a bit height-wise in here. And, you know, if we do, so that's those two. I'm just gonna put these shoes on top. See if we can close this. Might be tight. So that's the Transit packing cube, right? To about here. I've got a pair of shoes on top and it still closes. That's only half the bag. So this 35-liter bag is quite sizable and, you know, has great versatility. So those are your EVERGOODS cubes. Now we're gonna take a look at Peak Design. So medium cube. When I first got this Transit Duffel, the cubes, they kind of got smushed, but over time, the bag is, like I said, it's gotten a little rounder on the sides, and these just perfectly lay in here now. And I don't mind the look and the roundness of it. I think it still works great. It still looks great. But I guess you could call it a break-in period. And it broke in to the size of the packing cubes that I most frequently use, which are these Peak Design cubes. So two mediums fit on top of each other there. If we want, we can throw in that pair of shoes. I've got the smaller size packing cube, and you know, we can close this. There's still a little bit of space. So we'll do a couple different variations. You know, maybe you don't need two of the mediums. Those are pretty big, so you probably get by with just one of those. Put the DOP kit. Put the DOP kit down here. Put the medium, we'll do this one. We'll put this medium packing cube right here. Fits great. We've got that cap 1, that water bottle, a pair of shoes, you know, the jacket. You know, I could still put in this packing cube right on top too, and this is all gonna close up no problem. So, 35 liters. I think this, it might feel a little bit bigger than 35 liters. I think it depends on what type of items you're putting in here. Because it is a more boxy shape, you know, you gotta get a little creative, play some Tetris with some of the items to make them fit. But overall, this is a great duffel, and it has performed super well over the course of the months and the dozens of times I've taken this with me traveling. So hopefully this has been helpful. You know, the packing cube orientation and layout, I think, is one of the most beneficial things to see before buying a bag. So hopefully these different options are helpful for you to see, you know, if this is gonna work for you based on what you already own. But yeah, this is an awesome bag. I definitely recommend this EVERGOODS Transit Duffel 35. Couple things I don't love. This strap, not a good strap. I do love that they added strap keepers, which is nice. You know, no dangle, but I think if they ever decide to improve on this, one of the biggest things they could do is to make a little bit more cushioned strap and to make it just a little bit wider. Even an inch overall, just that ½ inch on each side, just a little bit of foam in there, I think that would really change this duffel and, you know, my experience carrying it on my shoulder. But that's really the only negative thing I have to say. Everything else is positive. Materials are great. It is super durable. I've had no issues with anything on this bag. And it works great for me as a solo traveler, and it works great for when me and my wife are doing like a little weekend thing. There's plenty of space to get, you know, 2 days worth of clothes for 2 people in here. So yeah, awesome bag. Another great product from EVERGOODS, and you know, I do look forward to seeing the V2 in the future that comes with maybe a better strap, more suited for shoulder travel, especially when you consider, you know, some folks want to take duffels on airplanes and you're walking longer distances. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know. Drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. Be good.